Now, taking a look at the AFC playoff bracket, Cleveland will face the Steelers again. This time, it's at Heinz Field on Sunday night in the 3-6 matchup. Can't wait for that one. Dan O joining us now. Max, I'm going to start with you. How much faith do you have in the Browns this postseason?
I got it. Guys, when I look at them and the Steelers, it's like the Browns are the Steelers. Stephen A., you bring it up because I always bring it up. What did Mike Tomlin say at his introductory press conference when people were like, really, Tomlin got the job? Who's Mike Tomlin, right? Like, not known to the mainstream. He sat at the podium at the press conference, and by the time it was over, everyone said, yeah, that guy. He said, we're getting back to Steelers football. Run the ball, stop the run. That's the Cleveland Browns. They run the ball, and they stop the run. Sheldon Richardson and of course, Myles Garrett, who, by the way, who's the best defensive player in football? We all know what the answer is to that, right? Aaron Donald. If you take all the emotion out of it, you have a hell of a case for Myles Garrett this year. He is absolutely elite. They run the ball, and they stop the run. And then what else can they do? You know, the lesson in sports is always, if you think you see something in a player, patience, patience, patience. And just when you run out of patience, more patience. I learned that lesson again with Baker Mayfield. He had 4 head coaches in just a little over 2 seasons and couldn't be consistent. And at a certain point, I threw up my hands earlier this year and said, he's okay. He's just okay. Nope, he's better than that. Yes, he's highly dependent on situation. He's not Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning. Those guys would have been great wherever they were. Most quarterbacks need the right situation, and Baker's one of them. But he's in that right now. I have faith, more faith, in the Browns than in the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if the question is thumbs up or down on the Browns, I give them a thumbs up.
You know what? They all right. I mean, congratulations. You know, you got to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years. Welcome to the modern day era. Much props to you. Appreciate you. Let me take a moment before I get into my little diatribe here, giving some love to Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski has done an outstanding job as head coach for the Cleveland Browns. They got a top 3 rushing attack in Chubb and Kareem Hunt, who are absolute studs. Baker Mayfield went from 21 interceptions down to 8, completed 59.4% of his passes last year, jumped that up to 62.8 this year. That's more than 3 percentage points up. Got to give him props for that. Kept the turnovers at a minimum. He got sacked about 26 times, but that's neither here nor there. Here's the deal, y'all. I give Cleveland respect, but am I worried? No. I mean, they all right. When you talk about them stopping the run, Max, listen, let me tell you something right now. We know they struggle against the pass, right? They got 38 sacks on the year, which isn't bad. But forgive me if you got Olivia Vernon who's got 9 sacks. You got Myles Garrett who's got 12. You got Sheldon Richardson that got about 4.5 sacks. They got about 38 sacks total as a team. That's averaging less than 3 sacks a game. All right, okay. And then I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared of them. And then we get into their rushing defense. This defense that you brought up, yeah, it ranks 9th against the rush, Max. But, Max, I would ask you to double check your numbers. Not that you gave out the numbers, but when you bloviate about the Cleveland Browns run defense, let's analyze this here. Dan Orlovsky, you'll appreciate where I'm going to here. The Pittsburgh Steelers ran for 129 yards against them earlier this year. Who did they give up? 209 yards rushing to the Las Vegas Raiders, okay? They gave up about 140 yards rushing to Jacksonville. What about that game against Baltimore when they gave up 231 yards rushing? It's not like they can't be ran on. Now, the Steelers' offense, I mean, we all know they can't run. It's the worst rushing attack in football, and I get that. James Conner's missed a few games. He's averaging about 4.3 yards a carry. But when I look at the Steelers, what are they going to lean their success on? It's going to be on their ability to throw the football. Why? Because Big Ben Roethlisberger is going to be in there, not Mason Rudolph. Why? Because you got Clay Chesspool and James Washington and Juju Smith-Schuster and Deontay Johnson and Eric Ebron. You got a 5-headed monster that you could go and throw the football against a team that struggles against the pass. So when I look at this game, I'm like, yo, I appreciate what I'm seeing from the Browns. Props. Baker Mayfield, way to step up and handle your business, my brother. Nothing but respect for you. Love the job that he done. Kevin Stefanski, Andrew Berry, the GM, African-American, by the way, handling his business. I love Chubb. I love Hunt. I understand that. But in the end, do I expect the Cleveland Browns to win this game? Hell no. They will go to the Steel City this Sunday, and they will go down. It's nice that you were in the playoffs. Now it's time to go home.
I got a lot of faith in the Browns. It's nice to be one of the guys that have had faith in the Browns from the jump and not kind of being like Max. And just,
I don't recall that about you, Dan.
Oh, really? Check
Faith
it.
from the jump?
Not from the jump.
No.
I need to do that.
No. I got to get in here on this. He definitely has been on the Browns.
Thank you, Molly.
Dan,
Thank you,
I
Molly.
confirm.
I don't have to be like
yes.
Max.
I do listen.
went
I
down
listen
on
most of the
Baker
2
Mayfield.
hours.
Down on
I
Baker
think going
Mayfield.
into the playoffs,
Down on
appreciate
Baker.
you, Molly. I think going into the playoffs, you got to ask yourself, do you have faith in the quarterback? My answer for Baker Mayfield would be yes. One, because we've seen growth, both on and off the field. We've seen maturity, both on and off the field. But then also, it's not just, is the quarterback playing by himself? You know, my faith in Baker Mayfield has a lot to do with Stefanski, especially watching the game plans that he devises. When they need it the most, he's at its best. My faith is in the fact that they got an outstanding offensive line, one of the best pass blocking and run blocking offensive lines in the NFL. It makes everything that the quarterback has to do easier. My faith is in the fact that they got two tailbacks that over 1,000 yards of all-purpose yardage, both Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So my faith is in the fact that they got three receivers over 500 yards. They got six guys over 300 yards. So they got a lot of really good pieces on their football team offensively that make me say, I got a lot of faith in them. Do they know how to attack the Pittsburgh Steelers? Absolutely. I think that they're going to put those 2 and 3 tight ends on the field often and spread Pittsburgh out and make those linebackers cover those tight ends all over the field. I think it's a huge advantage for Cleveland. Now, do I have faith in the defense? No. Max, you don't have faith in their defense either. Stop. Stephen A's right with those numbers. Their defense is a weakness. It's a significant weakness. If the Pittsburgh Steelers decide to come out and allow Big Ben to call his own plays, I got big problems with the Cleveland Browns defense because Big Ben's going to get them in and out of the right play. And their defense isn't good enough. Their defensive line would have to be dominant. We haven't really seen Myles Garrett be dominant. We've seen the Steelers offense when they need it, especially in those moments where all right, this ain't working. Big Ben gets the line of scrimmage. He's like, I'm going to take my shot to Deontay Johnson. I'm going to take my shot to Claypool. We'll get an empty and I'll distribute the football. And that's what concerns me about the Cleveland Browns. So for them to win this game, they got to come out and be aggressive early. They got to take their shots and allow their defense to play free and reckless to the football rather than play defensive against the Big Ben that's seen everything. So I have a lot of faith in them. It's
hold on, guys.
I'm not head coach.
I'm not touting Cleveland's defense. When you say run the ball, stop the run, really what you're talking about when you get down to it is you're winning up front. Cleveland can play up front on both sides of the ball. You brought up their offensive line. I agree with you about Baker, but even Ben Roethlisberger's wisdom, when they can't block for the run, which Pittsburgh can't, it's a bad matchup for them against a team whose defensive strength is playing the run compared to the pass. When you can't block for the run, and you have a quarterback who can't throw the ball down the field, that is a recipe for disaster, and it revealed itself over the second half of the season. On the other hand, Cleveland found an identity as the season wore on. When I say run the ball, stop the run, they're not the best who ever did it at that. They're not, oh my God, Cleveland's amazing at it, but that is their identity as a team. That is where their strength lies. And on top of that, they have a quarterback who we've seen get it done in the second. Look, Dan, I saw you this morning. You said it was big boy stuff in the second half from Baker, right? We have not seen that from Roethlisberger recently.
No, it was that's the thing that's what I talk about, the growth on the field for Baker. Like yesterday, there was some big-time second-half throws in the scrambling with the feet. I would disagree that Big Ben can throw the ball downfield. I think he's capable of doing it. The Cleveland secondary is going to have to play its best game of the season. Who do they put on Chase Claypool? Because they haven't stopped him yet this year, and that's a huge concern. But at the end of the day, do I think that Baker can get it done in the fourth quarter? They're down, and they need to go get on a game-winning drive with Baker Mayfield. I think he can this coming weekend.
Well, here's my problem.
All right.
Here's my problem with you, Dan Orlovsky. My only issue is if you're going to tell me I need to be worried as a Steeler fan about the Cleveland Browns, tell me it's because of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt against that 11th ranked defense against the run in Pittsburgh. Don't tell me it's because of Baker Mayfield. Respect. Very proud of his progression. His progress, rather. I get all that, but he ain't going to be the reason they beat Steelers.
He's thrown 2 interceptions since November. He's thrown 2 interceptions since the first week in November.
So?
If you don't think he's good enough to beat you, that's on you. He's
All
thrown
right.
2 interceptions since the first week in November.
We got to wrap it up. Stephen A., why do you got to say Dan's
I know if
name
he's
like
wearing
that
those
too?
glasses of yours, that ain't going to help him.
All right, let me leave it with this, guys. Sunday night, it's Browns Steelers, and Baker finished 10th in QBR, right behind Russell Wilson and Tom Brady. Not too shabby. Plenty more First Take coming up. Dan, thank you. We'll see you on NFL Live later.
Thanks, Miles.
Lamar Jackson still looking for that first playoff win, though. You know this. And you won't believe who Max believes, though, has more to lose this postseason than the reigning MVP. Plus, we've been rolling our eyes at Adam Gase since he took the Jets job. Now that he's out, who should New York hire next? More First coming up.